Hey everyone, I'm at O'Hare Airport and I just got off the flight from the Bay Area and I got a call that Oakland Raiders head coach Jack Del Rio fired defensive coordinator Ken Norton Jr., which I think is a mistake. Coach Del Rio, nothing personal, like Jack a lot, but Jack should have fired himself because, as I've said before, and anyone who's paid attention to Raiders defense knows, Jack Del Rio brought in Ken Norton Jr. to install the same kind of Seattle offense, or Seattle-style offense, that Del Rio attempted to install when he was with the Denver Broncos. So if Del Rio is going to make a defensive change in the middle of the season, which is unwise, he needs to announce that, because that would be the only logical reason to fire. I said logical reason. It'd be the only logical reason to fire Ken Norton Jr. But really, Jack would then have to let go of himself. But again, the defense that he installed, that he and Del Rio, that Ken Norton Jr. and Del Rio installed, was one that both of them ran at USC and learned at USC while they were both at USC. And it has been honed and refined by many different people, and most notably still being altered by Pete Carroll himself, who's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. It has had a tweaking with the Atlanta Falcons under head coach Dan Quinn, who really emphasizes speed and flowing to the ball. Seattle blitzes in a way that, they don't blitz as they should, but the Falcons blitz, although they don't blitz much, they blitz more and they use more exotic coverages and approaches than any other Seattle-style defense I've seen to date. The Raiders are the most plain vanilla. They play it plain vanilla. They don't change much at all. Really, arguably they don't. And that directly comes from Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio himself said that he is essentially training Ken Norton Jr. to be the defensive coordinator. So how can you fire a person that you're training? That doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, at all. So that's why I say that, look, if Ken Norton Jr. represents Jack Del Rio's defensive philosophy, which he does, then Jack Del Rio should fire himself. That's just straight out the way it is. Now, let's see. I can't see your comments if you have any at this point, but I wanted to put that out there. I want to follow up with this more tonight. But the point is that, as Haley Muse says, maybe if Jack gets fired, John Gruden will come back. I don't understand what the love for John Gruden is. I really don't. Yeah, I don't mean to insult anybody, but it's not intelligent to just say, hire this person because you've heard of him before. I mean, I have nothing against John Gruden, but John Gruden is sitting pretty, he's making a ton of money. But what does he bring to the table as a coach at this day and age that a younger coach wouldn't do better to bring in, right? I'm just asking. So I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that at all. I'm just not seeing that at all. So, I'm looking around because they're supposed to be calling standbys soon at some point. But Les Miles? I don't know. Why Les Miles? Why someone you've heard of? What I'm saying is, and why someone like that? Why does that be a white guy? Okay, I'm just asking. Who is available as defensive coordinator that would do a great job? Like, for example, I have said myself that Todd Bowles, even before he became the head coach of the Jets, I thought Todd Bowles would be excellent DC for the Raiders. He wasn't hired. But I barely talked to him. But He wound up being the head coach of the Jets. And depending on the outcome of the season, he may be available. We'll see. We'll see. But what I'm challenging people to do are find talented, defensive-oriented coaches at the pro and college level that people haven't heard of. Okay? Yeah, Eric. Hey, Eric Madison, how are you? Yeah, I agree. He would be an excellent one talking about Todd Bowles. But there are other people, like, for example, I'm thinking Mel Tucker. And Mel Tucker is with, I think he was with Alabama. He's made a number of stops. He was the Chicago Bears DC for a while, but he's doing a great job in the SEC as defensive coordinator. Why not someone like Mel Tucker? I think the question is regarding, aside from a name, let's forget names for a second. What kind of defense do we want to have? Do we want someone that specializes in a 4-3? I do. But do we want someone who understands exotic blitzing? I do. And like Greg Schiano did, Greg Schiano really understood how to develop exotic blitzes. Someone like that, right? Someone who's not afraid to be creative defensively. I think someone mentioned Rob Ryan, you know, and I know that's a name, but I can attach that name to exotic defenses. I can attach that name to effective defenses, right? What kind of defensive scheme do we need now to be effective? And the other question is, what does Jack Del Rio really want to do? Jarkin says, is it true Ken Norton's fired? I got a call that he was fired. It happened about an hour ago. So I will. I haven't checked. Let me check. I haven't checked social media to see what people are saying yet. But let me see something here. Don't go anywhere, folks. All right. Yeah, see, folks, not only is it confirmed, but the Raiders 57 minutes ago put out a very nasty tweet. To me, it's nasty. It says, "We have parted ways with Ken Norton Jr." I mean, is that personal or what? I mean, wow. How bad is that? I mean, you don't normally see a team, an NFL team, fire their defensive coordinator and then tweet it out for all to see. "We have parted ways with Ken Norton Jr." That's something else. So if you, again, I'm not near my computer to see your comments, so if you want me to see it and read it, you're better off getting a super chat, like, you know, put $2 in the till or something like that, right? And go from there. But yeah, they said, "We have parted ways with Ken Norton Jr." That was a very simple tweet. So what that indicates to me is that someone obviously told the person who runs their Twitter account to do that. And it indicates to me that somebody got pissed off. I don't know if they asked Ken to do something or make some change, or they had some argument, whatever happened. Ken Norton Jr., they made it public that they were firing him. That's what they did, all right? They made it public that they were firing him. So, and that was nasty. But they did it. We have parted ways with Ken Norton Jr. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, as far as I'm concerned, the season's dead. The Raiders are 4-6. They would have to win all of the rest of their games to have a chance of going 10-6. And someone's tweeting that KJ had years to get the defense in shape, but as I said before you arrived, Ken Norton Jr. was brought in to install Jack Del Rio's defense. So basically, it was Jack Del Rio who had 3 years to get the defense in shape and didn't do it. And he said that he is training Ken Norton Jr. to be defensive coordinator, training him. But they did two things. And not only did they fire him, they made it public on Twitter. I mean, it's like they fired him, they basically kicked him in the rear out the door. That's some bad stuff. Wow. So like I said, it indicates to me that somewhere along the line there was an argument, and maybe Ken didn't want to do something. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Ken didn't want to do something that Jack wanted him to do, and Jack, who doesn't like his authority to be usurped, he's like that, reacted and said, hey, you know what, you're gone. And that's what happened. Either that or Mark Davis stepped in and said, you have to make a change somewhere, fired Ken Norton Jr., because Mark Davis would do that sort of thing. He's the owner, but Mark would make that kind of call. All right. Well, anyway, I got to get ready to get on this flight. More tonight on the live stream. I'll have more time to dig into this and gather some more information. Remember, if you haven't done so before, subscribe to Xenia62 on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. See you guys tonight.